From the White House lawn to war zones across the globe, Andrea Mitchell has been on the front lines of history. She has covered 8 presidents, 12 national elections, and global flashpoints from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the war in Iraq. But beyond the headlines, what defines this journalistic giant is her relentless curiosity, her unflinching integrity, and the tenacity that dares to ask the hard questions others were too afraid to voice. She broke ground as NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent. She anchored her own daily show for 17 years and helped shape the next generation of reporters. She once said, "Journalism is an enormous privilege and a responsibility." Andrea has carried both with grace and with grit in every single story that she has told, every leader she has held responsible, and every young journalist she has mentored along the way. For all of that, for the history she's chronicled and the example that she has set, Andrea Mitchell is more than deserving of the Peabody Career Achievement Award.
Hello and welcome to Meet the Press. Chris Wallace is off today. I'm Andrea Mitchell.
What do you know, Andrea?
We have been told that there will be a briefing. Cult leader Jim Jones was preaching mass suicide. President Reagan had sent several signals to Moscow. Iraq may be taking advantage of Bill Clinton at a time when the president is busy with the Lewinsky matter.
You started in this business when they wanted to get the broads out of broadcasting.
I started as a copy boy, which is
Girl.
what we call them. We call them copy boy. I love trying to peel back the layers. That's not what you said Sunday night, sir.
Yes, it is.
Of what we know, what we don't know.
I love you, Andrea. You are indefatigable. You're my kind of woman.
I don't give a damn about my reputation.
The great Andrea Mitchell was not having it.
What about the Russia investigation?
Andrea.
An ambassador was using a cell phone to talk to the President of the United States, where the Russians had to be listening in. Should Clarence Thomas then be willing to take a polygraph test? A lot of people perceive you as another politician. How did that happen?
May I disagree with the premise of your question?
For the sake of argument, no.
With all due respect, gentlemen, there is a perception out there that people in power are a closed club. The Taliban have brought people some degree of security, but at a terrible price. We asked to take a look at how people live here in Pyongyang. I went to the Darfur region of Sudan in 2005. That was declared a genocide.
We have gone backward in those years.
What do you hope for?
We need peace.
You need peace.
Yeah.
The culture has been so toxic lately, we forget that we've had previous difficult times here, and the resilience of this country and of the news media is extraordinary and profoundly moving. But the fact is that we've got big problems still to solve in our society.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the Peabody Career Achievement Award to my hero, Andrea Mitchell.
Well, that was certainly a tour of my hair colors. Thank you, Peabody. Thanks to all of you. This award this year, along with my NBC colleagues at SNL, clearly shows that Peabody recognizes people need some good laughs along with their news. In all seriousness, this award means the world to me, not just for what it says about my work, but for what it represents about the importance of journalism today. Yes. It's been a long journey for women in my profession. As you just saw, my first job in the Philadelphia newsroom was as a copy boy. And that tells you just how rare it was for a woman to be in the room at all, even doing an entry-level job back then. There weren't many women role models in television news back then. I had to fight my way in and then fight for every promotion after that. I've been thrown out of many venues, from Philadelphia's City Hall to the State House in Harrisburg to the Oval Office, for asking uncomfortable questions, to the campaign trail with what was then famously called by author Timothy Krause, the boys on the bus. Covering foreign policy, I've even been physically dragged out of rooms for challenging dictators in places like Damascus and Sudan. What I learned over the years is if you don't keep trying, you'll never get any answers. In particular, women journalists have certainly come a great distance since those early days. When I look across our newsroom right now, I see women at every level. As the president and executive vice presidents of NBC News, as our Washington bureau chief, women producers, women editors, camera crews, researchers, desk assistants, and no, they are no longer called copy boys. I am so grateful that many of these terrific journalists worked on my team and have since risen through the ranks to leadership positions. Mentoring the next generations of female journalists has been one of the great joys of my career. And I can tell you, the women journalists of today are smarter, stronger, and more fearless than we ever were, and more empowered. And all of us journalists, women and men, have to be fearless. It is no exaggeration to say that strong journalism, providing accurate information to the American people, is critical to the very survival of our democracy. As Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Continental Congress in 1787, were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate a moment to prefer the latter. Whether it is warning communities about an approaching hurricane or informing them about how their elected leaders are responding to an overseas crisis, the work that correspondents and producers and photographers do every day saves lives, literally. So thank you, Peabody, and thank you to the University of Georgia. Some of your journalism students are here tonight. Yes. Because they, of course, are the future. Thank you, Peabody, for respecting journalism and for recognizing the importance of what we do. Thank you for honoring a former copy boy who has never lost her love of chasing after the next story. Thank you to my wonderful husband for his enduring love and for his patience with my erratic work life for all of these decades. And thank you, my eternal gratitude to my NBC family, past and present. Thank you, NBC, for believing in me. This award is for all of them. Thank you.